Hi, this is Jack Stanley, and I wanted to have a little bit of a bizarre bathrobe conversation, if I may, this morning. As I watch the sunrise, I want to ask a few questions. Why are we who we are? What is time? What is reality? What is existence? What is the world? What is everything here? Have you ever sat there and thought, how was all of this created? Now, of course, mankind, from his earliest days, gave the reasoning to various gods, to trees, to the sun. But you think about this. If we think about it logically, we are ruled today through mathematics in understanding various questions of life. Sir Isaac Newton and his many discoveries and thoughts and comments. And of course, more recently, Albert Einstein and the theory of relativity. Now you have to think of something here, The theory of relativity is from 1905. Kind of interesting. And of course, he tinkered with it as it went along. But still, it's from 113 years ago. The theory of relativity came out at the time of Mark Twain. Gives you an idea of how long ago it was. Theodore Roosevelt was president. And Einstein came up with many theories and understandings, but he couldn't actually come up with any way to describe time itself. There's no way to describe time in many respects. Now, I am not a scientist, but I'm curious, and I'm sure we all are. At least I hope you are, because, the thing is, you want to be curious. That's how you learn. That's how you expand your mind. And I look and I say, why? Why is this? Why is that? Why do things exist? And I really wonder. When I was a little boy in school, I had a teacher that talked about sound. And he said, sound is like a phonograph record. He said, it's made and it continues to exist as a wave and travels. I found that quite fascinating, and my young mind would explode with ideas of these waves flying around through space. And maybe that might very well be the case, that in the future, that perhaps these waves may be discovered, if they exist at all. But think about this. I am, right now, breathing and alive. In 30 years from now, I won't be. I'll be gone. I will be a moment of time. I will not exist physically, but I might exist on film, or digitally, or in people's memory, or in my writing. But the physical individual is gone. And as is that time. Now, will that time exist? Or will that time never exist again? That's one of the many, many questions when we think about life. Because you have the future, you have the past, you have now. And each, in a sense, influences the other. I know I'm kind of getting lofty here and babbling, but it's an interesting thing to think of, that we here exist at this moment. But the future exists right next to us and will exist exactly where we exist, but not now. And the past has existed where we are right now. I am in a room right now that has existed for 125 years. In this room has existed life, has existed people that no longer exist. They're part of time. I exist where they existed, and there will be people existing where I once existed. Interesting, isn't it? And the thing is, we don't understand it. We don't understand time. We don't understand many aspects of what makes this world work. Sometimes the more we learn, the less we know. A curious thing to think of. In a dark, kind of gloomy morning, as I'm waiting for the fourth nor'easter to come here to the East Coast. It's been an interesting March, I must tell you. But in closing, March will exist and March will be gone. But March will exist somewhere. Time must exist somewhere. There has to be a past, a present, and a future. And perhaps they run simultaneously. But we are impervious to the existence of any of them.